Hey folks, right, this is Simon from Simon Stuff. I'm trying something slightly different today. So I'm going to start doing video reviews. Um, if they're a bit crap, it's because I'm not used to doing this. But basically, because of time restraints, I'm trying to get more reviews done in a shorter time frame. Uh, Now I'm going to jump straight in with a review here. This is a comic book I'm going to review called Touching Evil. If you see me looking down, it's because I've got notes I'm referring to. Again, this is all new to me, so apologies if it's a bit crap. I will get better, I promise. But yeah, this comic book is about. It's called Touching Evil, and been written by a guy called Dan Dougherty. Now I would like to issue Dan a massive apology. Dan, I'm so sorry. I've been meaning to review your comic book for ages. Entirely my fault, mate. It's just work and life got in the way. So yeah, sincere apologies, but I'm doing it now. Hopefully you enjoy it. So yeah, Touch and Evil, written, scripted, and even drawn by Dan. He's a busy boy, isn't he? But yeah, it basically takes place, centres around a lawyer called Ada. And Ada lives in a world much like our own, a world without superpowers, without superheroes, or anything mystical or anything like that. So it's very much grounded in reality for now. Okay, so we open up at the comic book. Now there will be a couple of little minor spoilers. We'll try and keep the majority of the comic in the comic. So if you want to find out more, you're going to have to go and read it. So we open up. Ada's a lawyer in America. She's defending her client, a guy called George. George has been a bad boy. All right, he's not a nice bloke, and he is guilty blatantly. But the justice system has spoken otherwise, and George is let off with. Well, I'm not telling you what he's let off with. It'd be spoiling the comic. No, needless to say, he gets away with it thanks to Ada's help. Okay. So yeah, we see her leaving court. Yeah, very normal, and that's how the comic breaks you in. It's just very normal. It's not a bad thing. All right. Before anyone goes, well, it doesn't sound great, but trust me. Okay. So again, I'm just going to refer to my notes. Apologies. So yeah, we cut then to a prison called Briarcliff, and the warden there is a bit of a douchebag. Completely, be brutally honest. Now I don't know whether Dan has taken influence from things like Shawshank Redemption or Green Mile. If he has, then it's not blatant, which is nice. It's kind of like a sideways wink. He's kind of he's kind of nodding towards them. That's what I got from it anyway. I don't know if he has been influenced, but it was a very good thing in my eyes. So yeah, and the warden introduced himself to the prisoners, and he says, here we've got a three-strike rule. Basically, you piss about 3 times, yeah, and you're sent to this separate block called Ghost Block, and you don't come back from it. And he said to make an example, he said they're gonna sacrifice one prisoner. The first prisoner to get one strike will be sent as an example to the others. So yeah, basically we find out that the ghost block is actually very real. One of the prisoners is baited, ends up going there, and meets a black guy sat on a stool in this cell. Black guy we find out is called Marvin. And the guy who's been sent there goes to kill Marvin because apparently that's what prisoners do. They don't bother believing in conversation or trying to get on with your cellmate. They'd rather just stab him and then take the best bed. It's a bit bizarre, but that's not a reflection on Dan's writing. That's more of my own weird brain. Anyway, but yeah, we then cut back again to Ada in her office, being called in by a boss, and she's actually got to go to Briarcliff Prison on professional business. We find out that she's actually got to go there on behalf of Marvin's family, the black guy sat on the stool who's just been stabbed. Okay, now we cut back to the prison and we find out that the guy who's actually stabbed Marvin is the one who's died. Yeah, confused? I was initially. But very quickly, you find out that Marvin can't be killed. He's got this gift, curse, call it what you will. It depends on your perspective, I guess. Where anyone who is truly guilty of something heinous like a crime, if you touch him or someone with this gift, you die straight off. No messing. You kind of act like God, like judge, jury, and executioner all in one. Um, Now we find out that all the events, like George at the beginning, who got away with murder. I said I wouldn't spoil it, but obviously I just have. Not very good at this, am I? But no, that event, Ada going to prison, meeting Marvin, and Marvin with his cursed gift. They're all so nicely interlinked. Dan has done a fantastic job of just melding all these separate seeming is really well paced. Yeah. Um, and Dan has just woven this really nice in-depth story that has so much potential um, to do so much with. It's fantastic. But yeah, we cut to Ada. She goes and visits Marvin on professional business, uh, and Marvin actually transfers the gift to Ada. Oh, now Ada isn't, your stereotypical heroine in a comic book. She's got her own problems. She's got a tearaway teenage son. She's stressed from work. She lives in a wall. Lives in a wall. Lives in a fucking wall. Lives in a house where the walls are really thin. I told you I'm a bit shit at this. I did say. Um, so she's not your stereotypical sort of like, oh yeah, I'll take this on. I can do this. Yeah. She swiftly finds out that she's got this cursed gift later on in the comic. And again, I'm not saying how. Now, this curse, obviously, I've told you that it kills people. Okay, when you touch someone who is guilty, they die, but their consciousness or their spirit, call it what you will, ends up in here, ends up in a person's head. Now, it hasn't been clearly shown as to how the spirits can interact with the host. I don't know what Dan's planning with that, but the way Dan has played the whole death thing, it's really nice. Normally in comic books, you get someone who, would kill someone and that'd be it. But to have the spirits live on inside the person who killed you, that's something I've never seen before in a comic book. Now, someone may say, oh, well, it's similar to this, it's similar to that. I can only go from my own experiences. It's something I've never seen before, and something I think Dan has really sort of hit upon originally. Sorry. But yeah, it ends. The comic book ends in a really dramatic fashion, and it really leaves you wanting more. I did read issue 2 as well, Dan. Don't think I didn't, but I don't want to review that here. Okay, but what I will do. Sorry, I'm sat on my knees and my fucking legs are going dead. Dan has really created a fantastic comic book in Touch and Evil. The writing is nice and tight. The artwork is non-super, which is good. Okay, the colouring is really muted. I really like this. I read Journey from Aspen Comics a few months ago, and the colouring was really, really bright. And although it was really nice and bright, it kind of your eyes didn't really know where to focus. With Touching Evil, the colour tone is very muted, very, very. I was about to say plain, but that's not fair. But it doesn't take away from the story. The script, the story, the artwork, the colouring, the lettering, it all kind of, they all support each other like they should, like any decent comic book should. So yeah, I was stunned. I was so glad that I read these comics and Dan actually emailed them to me. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This is my first review. I know it's a bit shit. I'm sorry. I probably rambled on and you're probably confused, but just to summarise, lawyer gets a gift, can kill people who are guilty. Awesome comic, awesome writing, awesome artwork. Go out and get a copy. Seriously, Dan Dougherty, you are a genius. Okay. Again, I'm really sorry it's taken so long to review this, but hopefully this has made up for it. Ladies and gents, find Dan on Facebook. Look up Touching Evil online. You will not be disappointed. It is a fantastic comic book. Please, please read it. It's amazing. I probably haven't done the comic book justice. In fact, it was. I mean, I've got a page full of notes to try and remind myself of how to review it. It's all gone out the window, I'm afraid. So yeah, apologies. But hopefully my next couple of views, I'll get the hang of this whole video recording thing. I don't know where to look on my phone actually. I've got a little camera here. I'm looking at the screen. So yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, Touching Evil, absolutely fantastic. Go out, get a copy, do it now. Okay. Like I said, find Facebook or an absolute pleasure. I loved every second of it. I look forward to issue 3. Ladies and gents, I'm not going to review issue 2 here because if this review hasn't made you realise that issue 1 is worth reading, then there's no point then even trying. You really need to go out and get a copy of this book. Okay, well, that's me done ranting for 10 minutes, or rambling for 10 minutes, depending which way you look at it. Thank you very much for watching and listening, and I will see you again for next review. Cheers, folks.